And my Russian friend, who had introduced me to his mafia boss the week before, said, I advise you start drinking now because we have 27 pints to order. We've only ordered 23 because they don't have enough glasses. It started out as a very, very normal scene of my life, sitting in a pub with two friends around one of those little round tables you have with my back to the bar, talking to one friend as the other friend went to get a round of drinks in. And over my shoulder I saw these two hands with a triangle of 3 beers coming down the table. And that was as it should be, and then the friend joins for a drink. Except this time it was different, because then came another pair of hands, and then came another triangle, and another pair of hands, and another triangle. And suddenly on the small table and the one next to it were 23 pints of Kilkenny, which was quite a large order, which I hadn't actually ordered, at least that day. And if you followed the last video of my Around the World in 80 Disasters, you'll know that I was introduced to this Russian Mafia guy, and we had a weapon confiscated, bribes paid, went to this hotel, and I jokingly ordered 27 pints of Kilkenny, and the Mafia boss decided to order them, and I managed to talk my way out of it. But his subordinate, my friend, decided that this was an order that had to be fulfilled. Now, I was sitting in this bar with my well friend Jerry and with this Russian guy. I had 40 minutes to go until I took a taxi to the airport to fly back to Yekaterinburg on the edge of Siberia, back to my humanitarian aid job. And I looked at these 23 pints and I was just like, what the hell now? And the Russian guy said, you are not leaving until you've drunk these. So I've paid $4 per pint, $108 for the 27. We've only got 23 here, so start drinking so that I can get the next 4 in. So I looked at them both and I thought, well, what to do? So I picked it up and I started drinking, and I think I drank about 5 pints in the first 10 minutes or so, and I thought I'll just do the best I can and then I have to go, hopefully they'll let me go. And they took the empty glasses, they filled up the other 4, so now I had 27 in front of me, and my friend Jerry was helping a little bit. And then the barman came over and said, could you please drink a bit quicker because I really need the glasses. And so there was quite a lot of pressure on. So I think I had about 8 or 9 pints in the 30 minutes. And I was really sort of getting into some kind of trouble. And eventually everyone thought it was a big joke. They let me go. But I then still had a long way to go because I had to get back to my room in Yekaterinburg, which is 2,000 kilometers away. And I went out into the street in Moscow, as you did back in those days, perhaps today too, and just stuck out my hand, and every single car in Moscow in 1992-93 was a potential taxi. And so the first car, a red Lada, stopped and asked me where I was going, and I was saying Domodedovo Airport, which is way down in the sort of southeast, which is way out of this guy's route, but he knew that he could earn some nice money from this, so he took me, thankfully didn't rip me off. I got there, the plane was delayed 3-4 hours, I managed to pass out on the plane. We finally got in at 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of winter, and thankfully my faithful driver Mansour was waiting for me at the airport because they got paid overtime, so they weren't that bothered if the planes were late. And so I got back to my room at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, I wasn't quite home yet because I had a room in the former Communist Party school on the 5th floor in Yekaterinburg. We had the office on one side and the expat rooms on the other. And we had this lady called a dezhornaya, and this is a Soviet-era type, fairly battle-hardened middle-aged lady who would sit at the end of the corridor by the lifts and would watch every single bit of activity that was going on the floor. So it was recorded what time you left your room, what time you got back, if somebody came to visit you, everything was recorded, and so they knew exactly what was going on in your life. And I'm sure that once you went out, they went through your room as well. And because I was away for a few days, I'd left my key with this dezhornaya so she could look after it. She was going to go through my room anyway. But when I came back at 4 o'clock in the morning, there was no dezhornaya there, so I had no key to get back into my room. And by this stage, I just wanted to just die somewhere in a corner. And I managed to find a fairly mouldy mattress at the end of the corridor. I pulled it in front of my room and I just lay down there and I passed out with as much dignity as I could. What I didn't realise was the guest room opposite me had been given for the night to the main boss, the director of the whole organisation, a British guy called Roland, who'd flown in from Moscow because he had a breakfast meeting with Strobe Talbot, who was President Bill Clinton's special envoy to the former Soviet Union. They were coming to discuss all the humanitarian aid. And when Roland opened his door at 6 in the morning, bright and cheery, he was quite surprised and impressed to see a British bodyguard outside his door until he realised the condition I was in. And so that was the real lesson to me, that it's never very smart to joke about the drinks that you're ordering, especially if it's 27 pints to somebody in the Russian Mafia. Thanks for listening. This is the latest chapter of my book, Around the World in 80 Disasters. If you'd like to follow the story on these YouTube videos, you can subscribe to my channel. I'll put the link in the comments below. If you'd like to buy the book on paperback or on Amazon, I'll put a link there as well. Thanks for watching.